I want to show some numbers now about Mr. Siddaramaiah in particular, and why this is such a difficult situation, and why the High Command perhaps is completely out of depth in trying to remove him and keeping the promise that they made. Let's take a look at what the social backing for Siddaramaiah versus other leaders of the Congress is in Karnataka according to the CVoter tracker. First, let's take a look at Mr. Siddaramaiah versus Mr. DK Shivakumar versus Mallikarjun Kharge versus other Congress leaders, and what the CVoter numbers are on that. So, when we looked at the social groupings among scheduled castes and Dalits, you had 41.7% of the Dalits saying that they favored Siddaramaiah. Only 7.4 went for DK Shivakumar. Only 3.4 for Mallikarjun Kharge, who is the Congress president. Let's fire that full frame, please. 3.4%. Then we came to scheduled tribes. 35.4% favored Siddaramaiah there as well. Among OBCs, 33.3%. Look at the uniform approval rating that Siddaramaiah has. Even among the Muslims, 74% Muslims favor Siddaramaiah, and people like DK Shivakumar, people like even Mr. Kharge are in single digits. Again, it comes back to the point, Yashwantji, that here is a man who, even among his peers, is heads and shoulders above. Why then was this suicidal decision made 2.5 years ago? And who thought that they could get him to step away from the CM's chair?
Well, and just to put the things into context, Padmaja, when we were doing tracker 5 years back and 2.5 years back during the election time as well, when the assembly elections were happening, Mr. Siddaramaiah was almost about 45% and Mr. DK Shivakumar was about 3.5%. So nothing much has changed. I mean, probably DK has gone from 3.5% to 6.5%. Siddaramaiah has come down from 45 to 41 maybe. But the gap is so big, and as you correctly mentioned that it is across the spectrum. He may be treated as a one OBC or one backward class leader, but the fact is, between the Congress leaders, he is kind of numero uno. There is no two opinion about it, and probably that is why it was so impossible for the Congress leadership to ignore him and make Mr. DK Shivakumar as the Chief Minister at that point of time. But the facts, if that was the fact then, that remains the fact now. I am not saying that there is no anti-incumbency, there is no anger, or it is going to be really easy, a cakewalk 2.5 years down the lane for the Congress. But what I am simply trying to say is that there is something in sporting analogy, something like complete football, complete hockey, where you become a striker, you become a defender, you play as a team. And that is something which I see and Mr. Poonawala's party, that when his party's number one popular person who happens to be the Prime Minister, even when he feels that probably the local faces are more important, he takes a backseat. Now, person of somebody like popularity, having a popularity rating like Mr. Modi, he has that judgment and zero ego in taking a backseat. Otherwise, you wouldn't have seen BJP's organization rank and file taking the election of Haryana, even for matter Maharashtra, or even for that matter in Bihar or Jammu region. Making the Prime Minister take a backseat, an organization coming in the front, or Mr. Nitish Kumar coming in the front, or it's Mr. Or the Maharashtra leadership of Devendra Fadnavis coming into the front. So whichever and whatever was working and better working for the party, they took a decision. And person of a caliber of Prime Minister Modi have zero ego in doing that.
And which is what they did in Bihar, where Nitish Kumar ultimately became the main face. And the Prime Minister was supplementing that power.
Something is amiss in this entire game plan, the way I see it, in strategizing what is your power points, what are your strengthening and strong points that you should be playing at which point of time. Something is amiss out there, which I feel as a strategy. I don't know whomsoever is strategizing the Congress right now, but kind of weakening Siddaramaiah is not going to help Congress. I don't know how it is helping. With these kind of numbers, I don't see how it is helping.
One graphic error. Can you just fire the graphic?
Which graphic?
This last graphic. एक बार fire करो ना उसको.
Which is what? The approval rating of Siddaramaiah.
The community-wise support for the two.
Yeah.
One thing has been missed by Yashwant. In the community 1, you have to write Rahul Gandhi fully was Siddaramaiah, and for Shivakumar write Priyanka and Sonia. So Priyanka and Sonia are backing Shivakumar 100%, and 100% of Rahul is backing Siddaramaiah. ये आप मिस कर गए सर.
Nikhil Jain.
Look, Pataja, what I feel the BJP always wants the Congress in a position where they are doomed if they do and doomed if they don't. What happens when a minister in Karnataka is sacked for taking a line that is against the party, in conflict with the line of the party in the setup? My same friend Shehzad Poonawala comes on television and says that, oh, Congress party mein democracy nahi hai. But today, when there are leaders in the Congress party and there are disagreements, I've admitted to them, and it's not to be hidden, right? When those disagreements are being aired publicly, they say High Command ka ikbal nahi chalta, High Command is not able to control anything. Then there are a bunch of numbers that are being thrown to show that the High Command is not popular in Karnataka, but we're forgetting the fact that whether it is DK Shivakumar or Siddaramaiah or any other leader with any aspirations of becoming the Chief Minister or ministers, they are the people going to the same very High Command. It is the High Command of the Congress party, Mallikarjun Kharge, Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi.
Backwards.
It is these people.
It's not
who
as
are
if
going
the
to
High
give their
Command is
signal to the
allowing
MLAs.
democratic differences to exist. The High Command is creating the problem, sir.
Absolutely.
फसाद की जड़ वहां पे है.
Padmaja, I really do not agree with that. I really do not agree with that.
But
At the end of the
isn't
day, you have
that
to
the
realize.
entire thing, Shekhar Iyer? I mean, it doesn't matter whether you agree or not. I think Siddaramaiah and DK Shivakumar agree on that, Shekhar Iyer, that this was a problem that was thrust upon two strong leaders in Karnataka by people who are sitting in Delhi and have very little power or credibility right now or political capital.
Well, that has been the way with the Congress, not today. For all the time it is that, because whatever Rahul thinks is right, and that is where they are today. So in Karnataka, despite strong leaders like Siddaramaiah, today look at the situation that Siddaramaiah faces. I mean, he commands the maximum number of MLAs. And he is known as a good administrator. But mind you, the way Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi imposed all those promises, all those guarantees, which resulted in Karnataka budget going haywire. And today, there is frustration among MLAs, ministers and everybody because there is no money left after all those promises. This was thrust by Rahul Gandhi and it was projected as Priyanka's promise to Karnataka. Have we forgotten that? That is why financially, Karnataka is in a crisis. Apart from all those freebies that were announced, there is no money left to repair roads or do any other capital expenditure. And MLAs are frustrated, ministers are frustrated. I mean, this is the state of affairs.
Nikhil
That
Jain,
is why this
financially in crisis, politically in crisis, and a crisis of somebody else's creation.
Coming from Karnataka, I'd like to answer that, Padmaja. Coming from
Padmaja,
Karnataka, I'd like to answer
Padmaja,
that.
first of all, when we talk about the finances of the state of Karnataka, you have to look into the allegations or rather the points that have been made by the ministries in Karnataka that the center does not pay GST dues on time, number one. Number two, it is an absolute lie when somebody says that in Karnataka only the guarantees that were promised by the Congress party are being catered to and not any infrastructure development projects. The Karnataka government is looking to set up an IT city right outside Bengaluru.
Okay.
There has been an advancement in the traffic management system of Bengaluru. They're the first, I think they're the first in the country, and the only in the country with an AI-driven, active, lifetime traffic management system. Now, my friend Shehzad is going to say, oh, but the traffic in Bangalore is so bad. The traffic in every city in the country is bad. The point is that the Karnataka government is taking steps that no
Is
one...
that also an illusion?
I'm sorry?
Padmaja, allow me to come in here.
Is that also an illusion? Nikhil Jain.
Padmaja, I need to
Can
come
you
in
please
here.
repeat
The
that?
very real promise that was thrust
Padmaja,
upon
allow
DK
me 30
Shivakumar and
seconds,
Siddaramaiah, is that also just an illusion? Is that not real?
Is that just... No, but Padmaja, isn't that changing the goalpost? When we're
Padmaja,
talking
can I
about
get 30
infrastructure and
seconds,
development and the works and achievements of the Congress government in Karnataka...
Sir, your achievements will go nowhere if your government falls. I'm literally showing you numbers which say that you already have an anti-incumbency setting in and you
Padmaja, I will
are
also show you
worsening
numbers if
things
you
for
allow
your
me to
current
speak.
government. जैसे
Shehzad,
हिंदी
you
में
can't
कहते
keep on
हैं
interjecting
एक तो
everybody.
करेगा
Now you're
ऊपर से नीम
interjecting the
चढ़ा.
anchor even.
Sorry?
Can I make a point here, Padmaja?
Now,
I'm saying Shehzad can't keep on interjecting everybody. He's even interjecting
That
you.
wasn't
I'm not able to hear
Shehzad,
or
that was
understand
MC Abbas.
if
But just
two
a
people
second, can you
speak at
please
once.
have one
I'm
audio up
connected
at
with
a
the batching
time?
number. I'm
Just
not
a
able to
second, Mr.
understand if
Upadhyay
two
wants to
people
make a
speak at
point.
I have not
Can I please
interrupted.
ensure that one audio is up at one time?
Mr. Nikhil,
Let's make that clear.
It was MC who was as usual.
Yes, Mr. Upadhyay.
Padmaja, we all know that, even Shivakumar doesn't enjoy any great credibility. It's not that people are waiting for Shivakumar to take over. I think the credibility of both Siddaramaiah and Shivakumar have gone down. So it's just that, the High Command is, putting one against the other and then not finding any solution. But even if tomorrow, Shivakumar were to become Chief Minister, people have their own doubts as to whether he will be able to give a good administration. Because, he does not have probity in public life is not an issue that, on which he can score heavily, because, there are multiple cases against him. And, he's going ahead with the projects which are not in public interest. So he being the, Bangalore Development Minister, what is that he has contributed? People don't know what his contribution is for the last 2.5 years as the minister in charge of Bangalore.
No, if people don't know what his contribution is, look, to play the devil's advocate here, if he was of no use to the government and the party, then why was he made these promises? Why was he made the deputy CM? As far as he is concerned, he is well within his rights to say, you promised me the moon and now I'm here to take it.
Yes, absolutely. But
Padmaja, give me 30
but people are Karnataka not going to be happy at all that the fact that he might even take over, because I think probably a person like Kharge with his experience will make a better chief minister. So I think the High Command should consider Mr. Kharge as a possible replacement rather than these two.
Well, you're making the headache even worse for them. And again, I want to point out, please remember
Padmaja, I need to
that
come in here.
this is happening. The Bihar review meeting is happening at
Padmaja,
a time
I need to come
when
in here, Padmaja.
Bengaluru is roiled by this entire uprising, as it were. Last 30 seconds, Shehzad Poonawala.
Padmaja, can I come in now?
If somebody
Padmaja,
can really
hello.
stop him
Give me
from
30
interrupting
seconds.
Guys, can we please have one audio up at a time? Am I clear on that? Thank you.
Thank you. This idea of having night watchmen as CM. So you make somebody CM and you tell somebody else that, look, you can go and take over as CM. So in effect, you made a night watchman CM. कि वो सिर्फ guard कर रहा है, आपको जाना है. This is the doing, and let me say it, spell it out openly. You said, what does DK deliver? DK delivers the money bags. DK delivers the resources. Why else is the Congress party having so much utility for him? It is clear, they send him to Maharashtra, they send him whenever there is a crisis, he handles the money bags. And therefore the Congress party's one faction, which needs his money bags, needs his resources, have propped him up against another CM. And it's a choice between bad and worse, actually. Both of them are quite useless. But having said that, this is the model the Congress follows everywhere. And
Okay,
please listen, they will not solve this crisis because both fight, Gandhis are in power.
Padmaja, so much has been spoken. Thank you, Padmaja, for the time. So much is being spoken about my beautiful state of Karnataka. Gentlemen, kaan khol kar sun liye. Karnataka under Congress government is the second largest contributor of the GDP. We have outpaced the national growth by 6.2%. Agriculture has grown by 4%. Bangalore continues to be the startup capital of India. Bangalore is still the Silicon Valley of the East. So much is being spoken. We also contribute to the second largest GST collection. Karnataka itna bhi bura nahi hai, sir. Only because Congress party is ruling it, everything is wrong. Which state of BJP is not under inflation or debt? There are challenges which every state of this country is facing. So is Karnataka. Yuva Shakti, Nari Shakti, Gruha Lakshmi, Gruha Jyoti, Anna Bhagya have all been schemes by implementation guarantees which have been successfully running from the state of Karnataka. So therefore, keep your petty politics at home. Karnataka under Congress government is thriving.
आपकी सरकार में problem है.
Karnataka is absolutely fine. In fact, you have ruined the image of Bengaluru. So please pipe down and go and become the agent of whoever
potholes, roads, Karnataka ye
you are with Aam Aadmi Party, go and go back to them. Go back to holding their jhadu, please.
You are with Congress. You called Modi Hitler.
Yes, I was with Congress and I saw what was happening.
Do you know that?
Out of Congress.
Should I remind you?
Thank you for saying
you are the guy who called
Modi. That is why I am out of Congress.
Adanya Modi ji
it's
as
because
Hitler.
people like you are supporting Congress now.
You wrote an article
it's
comparing
exactly
Modi ji to Hitler. You are in the Congress party. क्या हो गया? भूल गए क्या? याद दिलाऊं आपको? Should I go back in time and tell you which party you are from?
I'm just going to take the last 1 minute to ask everyone, if we look at the numbers that Siddaramaiah at present commands across communities, across castes, across age groups, across even genders, Yashwant Deshmukh, does it seem at all likely that the Congress even has the option of removing him?
They always have an option of doing everything. Option is not an issue. I mean, you can.
No, I think a wise option. Of course, you have the option to slip your wrist.
Options
That's
is
not
like
a good option.
that's an option between a good way and a disaster way. So there is always an option to go to the disaster way in that way. And I'm not saying this to say as if DK Shivakumar is not really important. He is an important leader in the Congress machinery, you know. But largely speaking, we have seen sometimes when the machinery right thing is not in the right place, the machine doesn't work. I think it would be very unwise at this point of time, just like, you know, Mr. Amrinder Singh was removed, Mr. Channi was put in, you know, I mean, but it didn't work, right? Sometimes things just don't work in that way it should work. But at the same time, I must say that in a total team play, somebody comes up right now, the Congress High Command doesn't have that kind of authority that it used to have when Indira ji was there or Rajiv ji was there. For that matter, even at the time of Mr. Manmohan Singh, when Sonia ji was calling all the shots. So her popularity at that point of time was pulling the Congress ahead, and the regional Chhatrams were falling in line because that was the power plan. Right now, unfortunately for the Congress, it's not working that way. So I don't know how they are going to strategize. Rather than looking at Padmaja as the weakness of the Congress High Command, they should have actually played to their strength. That's what the moot point that I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That they should play to their strength, which they are not playing at this
You know
point.
what is
That
very
don't seem to be-
interesting? We keep mentioning Punjab. Just yesterday or today morning, I think, we had Mr. Bajwa put out a tweet saying United. Because it's almost like he's preempting कि भाई ये storm is coming in our direction. He was like, इससे पहले the storm comes my way, मैं जल्दी से बता दूं कि पंजाब में we are united.
No,
Mr.
DK will become the next Sachin pilot.
Well, we'll wait to see. Who knows? Maybe he can mobilize the numbers. Final word to you, Mr. Upadhyay. And I have to say in all of this, DK Shivakumar also seems to be quite a master of wit. Yesterday, when he was there at the Constitution Day program, where he made that comment about word is world, he also said something about, you know, people who are standing, who are not getting chairs, they are never going to get chairs. So it's not as if he is pulling any punches, but he is doing it in a subtle way. Will his subtlety cost him the chair again? Mr. Upadhyay, final word.
Well, he has a good IT team working for him. It's not that he's all that smart, because I know him personally that, he's not all that smart. He has a good team working for him. But, the point is that what kind of a administration can you give? You want to be the chief minister, but what are your credentials as an administrator? I think that is what the people of Karnataka are worried about. You replace Siddaramaiah and then bring in this man, and then things are not going to improve. So that, it's going to be worse for Karnataka, if at all there is a change at all.
Okay, so the consensus seems to be that this is going to be a storm, but a storm perhaps in a teacup. Tomorrow, we are being told, is when DK Shivakumar, Siddaramaiah have been called or are going to be called to Delhi. Contrary to what MC Abbas and Nikhil Jain are saying, there is definitely a problem. They are not being called to Delhi because, Delhi has amazing weather and they are being called for a cup of tea.